Hi, welcome to Scott's Inverts. I'm Scott, and in this video we take a look at things you need to take into consideration. One, if you're going on holiday, or two, what we do with our tarantula collection if we get ill. So as a priority, the first thing we should be thinking about is a contingency plan. If we can't get to the spiders to feed them, we need to be considering who in our family or our close friend circle is able to do so. Once we've identified that person and they've agreed to it, the second thing we start to need to think about is having a schedule. Now, a schedule would be something along the lines of, we've got to keep it very, very simple, because it could be a non-tarantula keeper that's coming around to look after your spiders. So we need it very, very simple. Monday, feeding this shelf. Monday, feeding these spiders. Or Monday, I've done it colour coded. On Monday, feed all the blue stickered ones. On a Tuesday, spray all the blue stickered ones. Keep the list very simple and include each day where you normally feed and you normally spray your water. We've got to keep it very low. So the best thing to do is not worry too much about that maintenance. If it's only going to be a week or two, as soon as we're better or back from holiday, we can get on top of that maintenance. So removing of the dead food and things like this. Remember, this is aimed at if somebody is coming to look after your collection that don't keep tarantulas or other animals, because 9 times out of 10 it's your best mate that's never wanting to come and look at your spiders. Now, something else to think about is feeders. So if we haven't got enough feeders, and maybe we go ill or we're going on holiday and we haven't got enough in stock, we need to make sure wherever our spider collection is, or invert collection, that we have some money hidden underneath one of those. So when our friend comes around to do what they've got to do, we can also ask them to go to a local pet shop. We can even put on that list, you will need 1 tub of dubia, 1 tub of Mario worms, 1 tub of mealworms. Very, very simple. And they can take that cash, or they can take that cash and go and actually buy them. Now, thinking about when that person is coming around to feeding, if we can do it colour coded, so Monday on your feeding schedule could be all your slings and exactly what they get fed. So if it's fruit flies, Monday slings, they're colour coded pink and we've got fruit flies. Tuesday, juveniles, they're colour coded blue and having mealworms. Subadults, they're colour coded red and they're having Mario worms. Adults, colour coded yellow and they're having large dubias. Very, very simple, very, very easy. And all we need to do is, if we're keeping our own feeders in our own collection, maybe we've got a tub of Mario worms and beetles and all the rest of it, just label them Mario worms. Dead simple. Another thing that we could also do is to include a little note on that list as well of just how you open and close your enclosures. So you know you've got a little stubborn enclosure that's a bit funny to work out how to open and close, just write it down on there. And what we can also do is, when we ask that friend who's looking after the spiders in advance of getting ill and in advance of going on holiday, show them exactly what you do. So invite them around, show them what you do on the Monday, show them what you do on the Tuesday, so that person, when they come to do it, is confident in what they're doing. As you guys know yourself, with a lot of the bigger spiders, you have to have confidence in order to do a lot of the waterings and indeed a lot of the feedings as well. Now, we have touched upon this in previous videos, but this is a temperature control or temperature alert, temperature alarm. So if you go on Amazon, there is Bluetooth temperature sensors as well as Wi-Fi ones that will hook up to your Wi-Fi, and it will send a notification straight to your phone if there's any fluctuations in temperatures. This would be absolutely fantastic, because if there is a fluctuation while you're on holiday or indeed you're ill, you can phone your friend and ask them to go around with a new radiator or a new heat pad, however you're heating your spiders, and replace that for you. Hopefully on that list with the schedule you've also included your watering. And I think if you're using specialist water, so if you've chosen to use something like distilled water or bottled water, you include that on your feeding schedule as well, just so whoever's doing it knows that you prefer to use that instead of tap water. I'm quite simple with a lot of my spiders, it's easier for me. We've got decent water in Coventry coming out of tap, so that's exactly what I use. I mean, another idea for you guys is what you can also do, and this is what I do, is split my racking up. So there's one section, two sections, three sections. So one first section, that gets fed on a Monday, middle one on a Thursday, and the final part I do on a Friday. Now, not only what this does is it allows me to break up the feeding across the whole week, but if somebody else comes to the collection, they know they're feeding and maintaining and doing the watering on the one section at a time. And what I've also started to do now is, if it's a slightly damp or slightly moist enclosure, put a little blue sticker on it. If it's a little bit of a damper one, so it needs water, so you can see the water going all the way to the bottom of the enclosure, put two little blue stickers on there. This will indicate to somebody they know whether to leave it because there isn't a blue sticker, put a little bit of water, as in just overfill the water dish if there's one, or go for the full-on nice dampness all the way through the enclosure if we've got two stickers on there. Now, just as a simple kind of health and safety thing, I think if you're going to have somebody else come into your collection to feed and water, it's really important that you show them exactly how to do it. So one, it's minimal risk for the spider, and two, it's minimal risk for the human that's doing it as well. So if the feeding is a little feeding hatch, the food goes through there, show them. If it's feeding and the lid slides out and you only need to slide it out this much to get the dubia in there, show them that as well. If you can water through the actual lid, so if you've got a mesh lid, show them how to do it. But again, also show them that you have to be very aware of where the spider is if you're going to be watering, and if you're going to be going in to actually top up those water dishes as well. All else fails, do step by step for them. Get them round, get them used to the spiders, show them several times, and then invite them round every couple of months as like a refresher, just in case something happens, because we can't predict the future and we can't always rely on the loved ones that live within our house, because they might be looking after kids, they might actually be scared of the spiders that we keep. It's always good to have a friend or a real close family member nearby that can come and do it. Now, if you're doing everything that I've said in this video, I just hope it just gives you a bit of food for thought. Everybody's individual. Everybody's going to kind of go to their friends and family and get those information across differently to how they want to be supported. If anything does happen, like a holiday or an illness, to how somebody else can come and look after their collection. I am very, very lucky. My best friend in the whole world, absolutely scared of spiders, but knows exactly what to do when it comes to my whole collection, and he's come round and he's done it with me several times, and that is only if my other friend that keeps spiders, that lives about 10 minutes from the house, is ill or on holiday at the same time as I am. Now, again, if you're not subscribed, hit that subscription button for me. It really does help me out more than you guys know at home. And if you're returning from previous videos, previous subscriber, thank you guys so much. Honestly, it means the world to me. Your support is absolutely everything. Anyway, guys, thank you so much as always, and we shall see you again on the next one.